Good day. This video is prepared for University SAINS Malaysia Chemical Engineering Competition 2021. We are from group The STEMinists. The members are Nornafeela binti NASEEM and FIONA Rochelle anak perempuan Christopher. The theme given is overflowing, resolving energy storage crisis. The solution that we choose to resolve energy storage crisis is hydrogen fuel cells. Let's begin with some introduction regarding energy storage. So, what is energy storage? Energy storage is the capture of energy produced at one time for use at a later time in order to reduce the imbalance between energy demand and energy production. A system that stores energy is commonly referred to as an accumulator or battery. Energy comes in many types, including radiation, chemical, gravitational, magnetic, electrical, elevated temperature, latent heat, and kinetic. Energy storage involves converting energy from forms that are difficult to store to forms that are more conveniently or economically conserved. Now let's look into the importance of energy storage. By storing energy, we can meet the short-term fluctuating energy demand requirements around the world. We can also reduce the need for emergency power generators or part-load operated power plants that would otherwise consume primary energy sources. The stored energy can also be used to supply energy during transitory power disturbances or surge. We can redistribute the energy required during on-peak demands conditions at daytime to the energy produced during off-peak hours at nighttime. We can make use of the energy such as electrical energy generated from the renewable energy sources for the fluctuating load demand. Energy storage can provide energy security with less environmental impact. So let's have a look on the needs to store energy in the right way. Number 1. Balance supply and demand mismatch. Because some renewable energy technologies such as wind and solar have variable outputs, storage technologies have great potential for smoothing out the electricity supply from these sources and ensuring that the supply of the generation matches the demand. Number 2. Utilize storage for peak periods. The stored energy can be used at any time during the peak hours to supply enough energy. Number 3. Frequency and voltage support. Number 4. Reliable power supply. For example, we can get reliable electricity supply 24 hours a day. Next, reduce the need for new generation capacity and transmission upgrades. Lastly, energy storage is really important as emergency support. What is a hydrogen fuel cell? Well, a hydrogen fuel cell combines hydrogen and oxygen to produce electricity, heat, and water. Both the battery and the fuel cell can convert the energy produced by chemical reactions into usable electric power. However, fuel cells will produce electricity as long as fuel or hydrogen is supplied. Therefore, it never loses its charge. Let's look into deeper on how hydrogen fuel cell work. Hydrogen fuel cell consists of two electrodes, a negative electrode and a positive electrode. They both are sandwiched around an electrolyte. A fuel, in this case hydrogen, is fed to the anode and air is fed to the cathode. The catalyst at the anode separates the hydrogen molecule into protons and electrons, which take different paths to the cathode. Electrons go into an external circuit, creating a flow of electricity, whereas protons migrate through the electrolyte to the cathode, where they unite with oxygen and the electrons to produce water and heat. There are many sources of hydrogen, such as biomass, wind, nuclear, oil, and coal. Currently, the main source of hydrogen on Earth is fossil fuels, specifically natural gas. The main concern is the advantages and the disadvantages of the hydrogen fuel cell. How are they beneficial to us? What are the setbacks? Let's look into the advantages of hydrogen fuel cells. Hydrogen fuel cells produce no harmful emissions, eliminating the costs associated with handling and storing toxic materials like battery acids or diesel fuel. Besides that, it also reduces dependence on petroleum. Not only that, it lowers operational costs. Compared to battery and internal combustion generators, fuel cells save more money. They eliminate the need to change, charge, and manage battery, subsequently reducing labor, time, space, and peak power demands. Lastly, it complies to SDG, which is great for the environment, specifically SDG 7, 9, and 13. The first disadvantages is that it may be slightly expensive compared to battery acids or diesel fuel. Besides that, the lack of infrastructure may be hard to implement these hydrogen fuel cells in the industry. And lastly, hydrogen is also known to be intolerable to freezing temperature. Supplying hydrogen to industrial users is now a major business all around the world. Demand for hydrogen, which has grown more than threefold since 1975, continues to rise, almost entirely supplied from fossil fuels, with 6% of global natural gas and 2% of global coal going to hydrogen production. From this graph, we can see that as the year goes by, the fuel cell system cost gradually decreases, which shows that the fuel cell cost gradually becomes more affordable to industries.